Hello, I'm Connor Morgan. I'm in the 3rd grade at Montford Elementary School, and I'd like to be the first ever Auburn Junior Reporter. Here's a quick story to explain why I believe I am the best candidate to represent the youth of the Auburn family as an Auburn Junior Reporter. I was born in April of 2004 and lived for almost a year and a half before Auburn ever lost a game. My parents have brought me up in the middle of the Auburn family. Both of my parents and my grandfathers attended Auburn. From the time I was born, I have traveled to Auburn to attend football, basketball, and baseball games. Sometimes we even go to Auburn when there aren't any events to attend. I have had the good fortune to witness many special moments in Auburn history. I stood at the fence on the floor of Bryant-Denny Stadium with my dad, met Charles Barkley, and hung out with Albie as Auburn made their way back from an early deficit to beat Alabama in a record-setting comeback. I was at the Georgia Dome when Auburn won the 2010 SEC Championship game and traveled to Glendale, Arizona to attend the BCS National Championship game. I even made an appearance on national television, celebrating Wes Byham's game-winning kick for the title on my dad's shoulders. In total, I've seen dozens of Auburn football games live, including 4 games at venues other than Junior Stadium. However, my favorite sport is basketball, and I love to sit in Auburn Arena and watch Coach Barbie's Tigers play hoops. In fact, I love Auburn basketball so much I decided to make it the subject of my audition video. Recently, I sat down with Mike LaPlante to talk hoops. You may remember Mike from his time as an assistant to Cliff Ellis in the 1990s. While he was at Auburn, we won the SEC Championship and were a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. He went on to be a Division I head coach at Jacksonville State University. Currently, Mike covers college basketball recruiting for ESPN.com. Hello, I'm Connor Morgan, and I'm sitting here with ESPN recruitment analyst Mike LaPlante, and we're here to talk about Auburn basketball. So, Mike, how do you think Auburn's going to be doing this upcoming season?
I think Auburn has a lot of challenges in front of them this year. They lost a lot of players off of last year's squad, and even though they had a really good recruiting class, they've got a tough preseason schedule, and they've got a lot of new guys that they have to incorporate into their program. And so I think it could be a little tough in the beginning, but by year's end, I think they have a chance to be very competitive within the conference.
So, Mike, you mentioned Auburn's strong recruiting class. Who do you think the key players are going to be?
Auburn did have a strong recruiting class. They had a nationally ranked class, and I think they brought in 6 players that all have a chance to contribute in some form for the Tigers this year. Their 2 key players, again, are going to be Jordan Price and Shaquille Johnson. Jordan Price, who I mentioned earlier, is a dynamic scorer, big, strong body, who's college ready. Shaquille Johnson, I think, is going to be a crowd favorite from day one. He's one of those players, when he gets out in transition, out in front of the ball, he can finish in electrifying fashion, and I think he's going to be a crowd energizer and a team energizer right out of the gate.
So, now let's talk about Auburn's schedule. Who do you think some of Auburn's toughest opponents are going to be?
Auburn has a very demanding non-conference schedule this year. Probably one of the toughest preseason schedules that Auburn has had in a long, long time. They come right out of the gate against teams from other major conferences, and Auburn's going to have a great opportunity to find out what their strengths and weaknesses are right out of the gate. They've got games against Boston College, games against Rhode Island, Illinois, Florida State, Colorado. You can go through their preseason schedule, and there's not a whole lot of cupcakes on there where you can build wins. So Auburn's preseason slate might not give them the prettiest of records right out of the gate, but I think as they get ready for SEC play, they will be battle tested. So,
Mike, what do you think the keys are for Auburn to have a successful season this year?
For Auburn to be successful, they're going to need 3 things. Number 1, they're going to have great senior leadership. They're going to need Frankie Sullivan and Robert Chubb and Noel Johnson to be able to be leaders for that young group of players that are coming in and have never played college basketball before. Secondly, they're going to need those incoming recruits to adjust and adapt to the college game as quickly as possible. The faster that they can adapt, I think you'll see Auburn be able to bridge that inexperience gap and be able to compete very successfully against other teams within the conference. And the last thing, they brought in 3 guys with decent size. Auburn's going to need to develop some type of an interior game where they know they can go get some baskets and get to the free throw line without having to just survive all the time making shots out from behind the arc. So,
Thanks, Mike. You can find Mike on Twitter at Hoops Connection. This is Connor Morgan signing off of Auburn basketball. War Eagle! I believe I have the knowledge, desire, and skills to be very successful as the very first Auburn Junior Reporter. I understand the sports at Auburn and the roles of the different people involved. Finally, and most importantly, I believe in Auburn and love it. Thank you for taking the time to watch my audition video, War Eagle.